We can still have her recorded. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple things before we do the info group stuff. Oh, he wants to get in here too, Jenna. The Diamond internship. I don't want to say a group because it's not going to be a group. It's literally going to be like an internship kind of. We'll be starting it in February. So if you want to do that, and I know Joelle posted one too. So if you feel like you want to like get mentored, I don't know what you would, it's the same thing, I think, from like Joelle, like apply to her. Like she's doing kind of like, obviously I feel like we mentor kind of the same, but sometimes it's like, if you've been with me for so long, it'd be nice to like have a different like way of hearing things, I guess, maybe. And I know she's only taking, I think, maybe a max of 5. So you can totally apply to be hers, or I think she might have actually decided already on hers, because I think she was starting today. But ours won't start until February. So if that's something you guys like, look into the stuff in whatever I posted, like that link, fill out the application, and I'll kind of go through it to see who really is ready. Because this is going to be something like I'm going to give, like I give my time to you guys, but like this is going to be something I give like more time to. Like we'll be doing our own little Zoom. We'll be in like a Voxer thread talking. It's just going to be a lot of like, I don't want to say a lot of work, but it's going to be more like one-on-one type mentoring than like like I know in the past I've done like a Diamond mentorship group where there was a bunch of us in a group. This is going to be like out of Facebook. It's going to be in the Voxer thread. We're going to be like, it's going to be a lot more personable than just like being in a huge group of people, you know? So that's that. And it's not going to be something where I'm like, you need to do these numbers. So I think I really want to help like you guys figure out how to work your business in a way that's like intuitive and like inspired action. I don't know what the word would be, like feeling. I don't know if that's the right word to put it, but that way, because I feel like that's a lot more enjoyable than being like, okay, every day you have to do 20 invites and 20 reconnects and 10 blah blah blah. Like that's not fun to work your business like that. So we'll be doing a lot more of like inspired action and like listening to yourself and like that kind of stuff in there. And then I should have brought my, shoot. I wanted to kind of go over my February plan, even though it's the beginning of like the middle of January, but that way you guys can kind of think about like the next month coming up. I know for me, I've really changed my focus for like until this baby comes, because I'm in strict, like, I don't even want to call it recruiting mode, but I'm in strict like recruiting mode in a sense of like, I don't plan on like recruiting like 50 coaches a month, but like even just that's going to be my focus. Like finding people on Instagram who I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl looks awesome. I'm going to spend time building a relationship with her. And then I'm going to, you know, if the conversation leads to that place, I'm going to invite her to coaching, whether it's a sneak peek or just be like, have you ever considered doing what I do? But really spend the time focusing on building relationships with people who I think would be amazing coaches that I really would love to work with, and spending time doing that at the beginning of the month, like the first week of the month, find my people. And then the second 2 weeks, build my relationship with them and spend time like watching their Instagram stories, liking and commenting on their posts, like messaging them in their Instagram stories and whatnot, and like really engaging with them over the next 2 weeks. And then after that, if it feels right and they're like engaging back and we're like having conversations and whatnot, then inviting them to the coaching opportunity. And obviously like every person's going to be different. So like some of them, it might take more than 2 weeks to really like build that relationship. Some people, it might be like lickety split and we're like, holy crap, we have a lot in common. Like you'd be amazing at what I do. And like with that way and focus on building our team, I guess, and like bringing on more coaches than like focusing on, right? Because right now I'm split. I'm like focused on like bringing on clients and bringing on coaches. So my focus until baby comes is going to be bringing on like coaches and like bringing on coaches that are quality, not just like, I'm going to bring on 50 coaches and then hopefully some of them work. Like bring on maybe 5 to 10, maybe 10 at the most, and then like dig into them and like mentor them and build a relationship with them and then like go from there, you know? So that's my focus. So like if you think of like the month, like the first week, I will be finding people on Instagram. Like that's going to be my sole focus. My sole focus is like building, like not building, finding those people on Instagram. So like hashtags, even like people who I already follow. Like if you guys haven't gone through like people who you already follow, that's something like I've been doing the last couple days and like this whole last week is like looking at people I already follow and like liking and commenting and like watching their stories and stuff like that. Cause I'm amazed at some of these people. I'm like, when did I follow you? And how come you're like, how come I haven't found your stuff in my newsfeed yet? So that's something to like look into. It's just like the people you already follow and spending time like building the relationship with those people. And then spending 2 weeks, I feel like building at least 2 weeks building that relationship, because that's going to be the part that is going to be like the most impactful, because you're going to tell right away if like this person is your person, and if they're not, I feel like you don't need to spend time like I feel like if like you know if a person's your person, right? And if it's like they're not, like why keep bleeding into them and like sending them messages and liking and commenting if they're like ghosting you, or they're like their messages are like yeah or like it's an emoji message or something like that. Like I feel like that person isn't really like putting in the effort to build the relationship with you, so it's kind of like, okay, well maybe you're not my person. And really finding those people in the middle 2 weeks, and then I'll be hosting like some type of info group the last week of the month, and that's what I'll invite. I won't say everybody, because everybody might not be at that stage to be inviting, but that's what I'll invite those people to. So that's how like my month is going to be laid out every single month. And I kind of think this is what I'm like envisioning is if I'm sharing like my health and fitness every single day in my stories and like transformations and stuff like that already, people are organically going to like ask me what I'm doing or like and comment on like posts that have to do with like my fitness and stuff. So those people I can just like organically be like, hey, I keep seeing you liking my stuff. Like, were you ready to join me? Did you have any questions? I feel like that's more organic than like having to really have a focus on like inviting people to that. Does that make sense? But that's, like I said, this is my plan for right now. So like if you guys wanted to take it, you can take it and run with it and see if it works. In the past I've been doing where like I've picked a challenge, like a challenge group date. So like, I think I've done like the third Monday of the month. So like the first 2 weeks I focus on inviting people to my challenge group. And then the last 2 weeks I focus on, inviting people to coaching. And I was finding that I wasn't having time. I wasn't having that like quote unquote balance of like finding people and building the relationship with people. You know, so like you could probably like put the challenge group part in there too, because I feel like with challenge groups, it's like you could invite people to that and you almost don't really have to build like really in-depth build a relationship with somebody to invite them to a challenge group, right? Because you're not going to be working with them like come into my life, into my business, you know, does that make sense? So like those people, I feel like if they're liking and commenting on your stuff, or they're like keep showing up in your whatever, like you can invite them and go from there, and then like slowly build that relationship with them, because you'd be kind of coaching them. Versus like if I'm going to invite you guys like into my home, I want to know that like you're my person and I can be like, hey, I'm in my robe and it's okay. It's okay. Right. So I think that's a little bit like the difference between like coaching and client wise, sort of. So there's that. That's my game plan for the rest of the year, or until this little unit comes. So I have like my notes down here so I didn't miss anything. So the sneak peek info group for Tuesday and Wednesday, tomorrow already. I was thinking tomorrow we can do all stories. So and I almost should have maybe I'll do this after we get off. Each of us take like a time throughout the day, so we're not all like jumping on at one time, and jumping in and sharing our story. Like, where were you before coaching? How did you find coaching Beachbody? What have you loved about it? What has it done for your life? And like, even where you hope to like have it, like your vision of where you want it to bring you. And I was thinking, because I know like in the past, I've had some of my coaches be like, well, I can't get on live. I think okay, so I'm going to challenge you guys to get on live. So like, find time during your day where you can jump on. Yes, Jen, I see you making that face. Where you can jump on live, even if it's 5 minutes on one of your breaks, because it shows people that like they can do this business in the cracks of their day, right? Where like, if you make a video and just post it, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's more like personable if you're like, okay, I have 5 minutes quick in between lunch, or my kids are sitting here eating lunch and I'm just going to jump on really quick, or I'm on my lunch break at work, I'm going to jump on really quick and just share my story. Like, it shows that you can really do this business at any place in your life, and that like, if you are on your lunch break or on your like 15-minute break, that you can still work this business working a full-time job. You know, sometimes I think people think they have to, and I don't know if any of you guys thought this, but like, you had to like, if you were going to join as a coach, you had to quit your job and do this full time. Like, I think people don't necessarily understand the power of doing this part-time and like doing it in the cracks of your day. So I would really love for us to be able to show people that like, they can do this in the cracks of their day, whether it's like half hour in the morning, lunchtime, a 15-minute break, and then a half hour in the evening. And we can show that like, we're all at such different stages in our lives, but we all find that like those cracks in our days to work this business. And I think that's like the most powerful thing we can do, besides sharing like our story and like that kind of stuff, but it's just showing people that they can truly do this. Because I think that's a lot of people's biggest like reservation, is they don't think they can do this because they don't have time. And all of us can say we don't have time, right? All of us can say we're busy. All of us can say that like, yeah, I'm a mom and I go to school and I work and I have this and I have that and I blah, 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 like all this stuff. Like, we all can say that. And I think like, when we share our stories, you can share like, this is what's on my plate right now, but here's why I'm choosing to make this a priority in my life, and why I'm choosing to like spend 15 minutes here and 20 minutes here and whatnot every day to make it work, is because I want this end result, or this vision, or whatever, you know? And it shows like, it paints that picture of like, oh, well, I could do this when I have lunch. I could do this when I'm sitting in the carpool line picking my kids up from school. I could do this, you know, while my kids are watching a cartoon in the morning or in the afternoon, or like, there's just cracks in our days where I think we can share with people how we get this business in, and having it not take up our whole life, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, is like, we fit it into our life instead of having like our life being fit into it. So tomorrow will be stories day. I don't know. I'll probably jump in right away in the morning when I get up. I'm trying to think. Or even like after I drop Gray off at daycare. Because we could even do like 9. Do all of you want to go live in the info group? Maybe I should ask that first.
I can.
I think it's powerful to have like multiple people instead of just like me always sharing my story, you know, because then everybody can see like, oh, I really relate to that girl and like her story and what she's going through right now. Because we could do like 9, noon, 3, and 6, and then I could jump in again at the end of the night and just be like, recap, and then here's what you can expect for tomorrow, or something like that. So every like couple hours. So if you see somebody jump in and you're like, well, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll do like those times. 9, noon, 3, what time, 6, or like after supper, or our 6s are all going to be different times because some of us aren't. Actually, I think April's the only one. Oh, and Jenna, you guys are the only one that aren't Central Time. So if we want to do that, I could do 9 unless somebody else finds that 9 as like a better time for them. I can do it super early too. We can kind of just like, depending on what time works in your day. Does anyone know what your day looks like tomorrow?
I can do noon or 3.
Noon or 3. Okay. And it could even be like if somebody like, so I know with nap times and stuff, it could be even if like Jenna wanted to do 3 and like Jen, I don't know when the boys nap or like are quiet, but even like you could do 1 or 2, you know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, every 3 hours, just so everybody's not like, oh, it's noon, I'm going to jump on. And we have like 6 people jumping on at noon because then it's, I don't even know if that would work. I don't know how that would work, but
tomorrow, oh God, I gotta think, because tomorrow I have to go to War Road at 10:30 and I have to get my other, what is it? Crown, but yep, one of those.
Okay.
I have to go to the dentist.
Dentist. Okay, so you could do it like in the evening or even like in the morning. I mean, I just don't want everybody to be jumping on at like the same time. So maybe what we could do is just like in our message thread, or even just like how about in the info group, give everybody like a 15-minute warning, like, hey, I'm going to be jumping in 15 minutes. That way, like all of us can see like, okay, Lauren's going to be jumping in 15 minutes. I'm going to wait until she's done, and then I'll maybe jump in an hour or something like that. That way, like, we can kind of like keep tabs on that. That might be the easiest way to do that. And then I would say like the biggest thing too, like I know some of you don't have people in there yet, and like this is something you guys can keep inviting people to. Like keep using this as like, just because it will be done after Wednesday doesn't mean that you can't keep inviting people to it. So excuse me, I would keep like acting and talking about it as if it was like going on, and you can just keep inviting people to it. And then this Wednesday, the second day, I can jump in and I'll just jump in and do like the info stuff, and you guys can kind of like see how I do it. And that way the next time we run one, we'll each kind of split it up. So I'll talk about, and you guys can let me know if there's any topics that you're like, I really wish I would have known more about this, or like this was my biggest hesitation, why it took me so long to join, or something like that. But I was going to talk about like what we actually do, how we earn and the cost, and then like why I feel like not why I feel like Beachbody is the best, but like why I love Beachbody and like our products and like what we're known for and the different options with like what we have to offer kind of thing. And then I could do like a Q&A too, or we could do like a Q&A together if we wanted to. But I don't know if any of you have any other like, what was your biggest hesitation? And this could be something you guys even share in your stories, like, or in your like video, like at the end you could be like, my biggest hesitation was X, and this is what I found since joining, or whatnot. That way people can kind of like even relate to like, oh, that's my biggest hesitation too. That's why I don't want to join. That's why I don't want to join, but here's what she found, you know? So that's what I'll talk about on Wednesday. Let's see. Sound good?
Okay.
Anything else you can think of that, like, maybe you even know your people, like you get questioned a lot about coaching, or you know your people, this is what you hear, like this is a hesitation you hear a lot. I don't know if you guys have. I think mine is always like time. Like people always say I don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to sell anything.
Yeah.
Girl, you ain't selling nothing.
Well, or it's like we're all selling something. I mean, we're all selling our kids on trying to eat healthy. We're all selling ourselves on trying to like be healthy. You know, like we're all trying to sell.
More like you're selling them on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, same thing. So I can touch on that. I'll probably talk about that like in the what we actually do part of it. But that can be like a hesitation about, you know, because I know Jen, like before you started, like you did a couple other things before you like, or yeah, before you got into Beachbody. So like you can share why this has been different for you and like why you've stuck this out and like why you feel like you're not selling people on anything besides like your own health and fitness journey. Like I think that would be super powerful because you've done a couple other things.
Yeah.
So that would be powerful to talk about. And then do you guys want to talk about messaging? Because I know a lot of you said that like you've been like inviting people and people have either been ghosting you or saying no, which I feel like if people say no, at least they're responding. Because when people ghost you and you're like, okay, like I see my message.
Right. That's
So
me. I haven't gotten any no's so far. They've just all been like ghosted. I'm like, I see you read my message. Like,
right. So are the people that you're inviting, are they people that you've like been building a relationship with, or are they more like people you've invited in the past, or are they like brand new people?
well, technically I didn't even invite them. I just like put a poll out on my Instagram and they like messaged that they were interested. And so then I'm like, well, did they accidentally hit the message?
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
But then you think they just say that.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Because there are people that have been like following me for a long time. And even one I went to high school with, like,
so
weird.
maybe could you, because I did this a couple times with some girls who kind of like did the same thing. I went to their like page and I saw like when like their last couple posts was, and I would like comment on it. And if they had stories, I would like comment. I'd make a point to comment on one of their stories and then be like, either wait for them to answer, or I'd be like, P.S. did you see my last message, or did you see my message I sent you? And like I did that to one girl today and she's like, oh, did I miss one? And I was like, yeah, the one from Saturday. I don't know if she's replied, but like sometimes people like I think look at them and then they like, oh, I'll reply later, or I'm like driving, or you know, like normal people. Not that we're normal, but like we're business owners, and I hope you guys have like your notifications shut off and like you're not on your phone 24/7. Like I think about Nick, bless his soul, but like he has notifications. I wonder if he's finally shut those off. But like there was a point in time where like he had his notifications going off on his phone, so he would like see when people were like messaging him or like liking something or whatever, you know. That's like normal people have that popping up. So like they might see like, oh, I have like a message, and then look at it and think like, oh, I'll reply later, you know, instead of like us where we're like, I'm like me, I'm like, I'm not going to my inbox until I'm on my computer and I can like talk to people, or until I'm like in my office and I can like record things. Most people aren't like that because they're not running a business right now. So I would take that into account. And if there are people that you're like, yeah, they would be awesome at coaching and I would love to work with them, like make a point to build that relationship with them past like that hole. So like liking and commenting and watching their Instagram stories and stuff like that. If they're people that you're like, I don't want to work with you, then don't. Like you guys get to choose who you want to work with. So if don't feel like you have to invite everybody, because you don't, even though I feel like in some trainings it's like they're like invite everybody, you know, but it's like there's a lot of people that like
I don't like.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people that like I went to high school, even like a lot of girls, not a lot of girls, but like I think about some of my girls that I were like friends with in high school, like I wouldn't, they'd have to do a crap ton of personal development before I was like, okay, you can join me. Just because like they're still catty and they're still like in their like clique. Like, yeah, like no thanks, I ain't got time for that. So like think about that. Like you don't have to invite, don't feel like you have to invite everybody. Like be selective, quality people. I know one message that has been working for me, and I can share it in our little group thread, but let's see if we can okay. It's been, I should have had this pulled up. And I actually did, like I did two things today. I went through like people, and this is what I spent a huge chunk of my day doing, like my nap time hustle doing, was like watching Instagram stories from people that I follow that I haven't really like commented and like even built any type of relationship with, and like watching their stories, if I was like, oh, this person's cool, liking and commenting on some of their stuff on their Instagram page. And then I messaged them and I was like, girl, I don't know how you haven't shown up in my newsfeed yet, but I love your page. Like, your kid is adorable, or you're killing it with your fitness, or looks like you want to be a personal trainer. Like I make, say, a question or like give them a compliment or something like that. And I've had like almost all of them reply back like, oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know how you haven't, like, how we haven't met yet, or how I haven't seen your stuff or anything like that. And that right there, like, one, you pop up in their newsfeed more, and two, they'll probably go like creep you out, you know, and see like, who is this, you know? So I just found like I did that to kind of a lot of people today, because I was like, there's so many people that I'm like, where have these people been? Like, I've been following them, but they haven't been like in the front of my Instagram stories, because they're not somebody I'm like watching all the time, you know? So taking time and like doing that, even if it's like a half hour, like, it's kind of time consuming, but that relationship building is going to be huge, like next month or the next month, you know, because you're taking that time to do that. But the message that I sent was one kind of like this, and I personalized it to like each person. But it said, oh, I cut some of it off. It said, you can say, hey girl. I think on Instagram I was like, girl, I have no idea if you'd be interested, but I love following you. Or like to some of them who I've been chatting with for the last couple of days, I'd say I have loved chatting with you over the last couple of days, or watching your kids grow up, or like watching your fitness videos, or like whatever the case is, like personalize it. And then I said, tomorrow and Wednesday, our team is hosting an info group about what we do, and I totally thought of you. Would you be up for checking it out with us? If not, no big deal. And then I put like a smiley face or a heart or something like that. I would say, I don't know how many I've sent out, like, because it kind of just depends on how I'm feeling. But most of them, even if it was a no, they've replied back. And I think it's because, like, I've given them a compliment. I've given them an out. Like, if you say, like, if not, no big deal, just, you know, I just totally thought of you. Not a big deal. And it wasn't, like salesy. It was just like that. So, like, that's something you guys could use and personalize it to each person. And I feel like you could even use this after. Like, you could say something like, our team hosted an info group, like, earlier this week, and I totally thought of you, and I just wanted to, like, shoot you a message to see if you wanted to be, like, in on it and watch the videos or whatever, you know? So it was super simple, and I feel like to the point, and kind of like, it wasn't just copy and paste, because each one I kind of personalized a little bit to that person. But I did this on, even with people on Facebook. Like, I went through some of my people on Facebook that I follow, and I was like, okay, who do I follow on, like, who am I friends with on Facebook where, like, they would be really awesome at coaching and I'd love to work with them, but I've never, like, presented the business to them at all. Because I feel like on Facebook, when you're, like, friends with a person, it's like you're one, like, you've built that trust factor one step further than maybe you have on Instagram or like your like page, because it's like now you're literally like, we're friends. We're Facebook friends. So it's like you built that like one step closer, like they're in your life a little bit more. And I did that with maybe like 10 people. I don't even, maybe not even 10 people, 10 ladies. And I've probably heard back from like half of them already. So it was like, you kind of got to like not word things, just like see what message works, but really like being selective of like who you want to invite, right? So I think that helps me, because I know in the past I've been like, I'm going to invite everybody who's watching my stories, and it'd be like 200 messages I'd send out, and I'd maybe have like 3 people coming back. Like, obviously all those people would be people I wouldn't even want to work with, but that's what I was being taught at that time. So, you guys have any questions about like messaging or like any of that?
I've got to go. My kid's puking.
Oh, okay, bye. I'm going to mute her just in case it's we hear graphic.
Uh-oh.
It's got to be going around, because both of mine started that today too.
Throwing up?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, Grayson has a nasty cough, and he has like 1 tooth coming in, which I think is why he was a beast today. And he choked on peanut butter, and he choked on Reese's Pieces M&Ms. Like, we never have choking issues, and then today it was like twice, and I was like, seriously, child. Anyways, I digress. Anyone have any questions about like messaging or like that part, building relationships, finding people, anything like that?
I had one girl who came to me and asked me about workout stuff. And I messaged her. We talked back and forth, and we got to the point like deciding what program she'd wanted to start with. And then she stopped replying. And so I sent a follow-up, I think like a day. I gave like 24 hours. Okay. And then I sent her a follow-up like, hey, did you get my message? And she read it but didn't reply. So now what do I do?
I would look at her, is it on Instagram? I would look on
Instagram
and like comment and like on her last like couple photos, or watch her stories if she has stories, and like comment on something like that, and just like get back onto like building that relationship again. Okay. And then you could like, you know, if you're building that relationship, you could bring it up again if you wanted to, or just like, hey, I just wanted to double check to see if you wanted to do that. If not, no big deal. Like maybe next month would work better for you. Like sometimes I think even saying that to people kind of like brings down their shield a little bit, because it shows that like you're not desperate for them to join you. And you're just like, I would love to work with you, but I'm not desperate for you to join me, right? So it's like, I feel like when people feel like, oh my gosh, she needs me kind of thing, like that's not how you want to build your team either, right? Like you want to let people know that like, hey, I would love to work with you, but if now isn't the right time, then that's totally cool too. And maybe we can talk about it next month. You know, even saying that, she might be like, oh no, I'm like totally ready, but my kids got sick, or my dog's throwing up, or whatever, you know, like she might have something where it's like, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay. That makes sense. You know, like, I don't know. We just don't know what's going on in people's worlds. But sometimes I think even saying like, if not a big deal. I muted you, Jen, just in case we heard like, throw up.
Yeah, he was in the hallway and all of a sudden I heard a whoop, and I was like, what is that? And I lean over and all of a sudden I see it go and I was like, oh no.
Yum. Good thing Gail's home.
Oh, I know. It's so nice. It's like, oh, you don't feel good? Cool. Go cuddle with Dad.
Can he hear me? Just kidding. Oh, dang it. But that's what I would do, Jenna. I would just like go back to like building that relationship with her, and like if it comes up, if she brings it up, great. If you have to like kind of just throw it out there again, kind of go from there. But sometimes it takes people like a couple times. Like if you guys think about how long it took you to join Tiff, like how long did it take you to like forever?
Years.
Yeah. So like sometimes, and it stinks to think like, oh my gosh, it's going to take these people forever to join, because sometimes it doesn't. But if they watch you long enough and then they join you, if they've been watching you for a while, they hopefully have a good grasp on like they actually want to do this. Where sometimes I think when people just like join on a whim and they haven't like seen anything, they haven't really dug into any like research or joined a challenge group or done any of the programs, and they join, like those are the people I feel like I've seen fall off, because they haven't really like done the research, or like they haven't been following you enough to know that like, okay, here's what it takes, or here's what it's like, or here's what she does, kind of thing. Does that make sense? Anybody else? Oh, it's already been 40 minutes. These go by so fast. Remind me, we need to take an Instagram story tonight. Every time we get off, I'm like, ugh. I always forget. I always like talk up nights like this. Like I'm like, yes, I get to get on with my girls. And then it's like, we get off and I'm like, duh, I forgot to like take a picture. Fail. I don't have anything else, I guess. What do you guys want to talk about next week? Have any topics you want to talk about? Trying to think if I had any topics you want to talk about, or any struggles. Do you guys feel like you have any struggles, or what are you guys doing for personal development right now? I still hear Grayson up. Maybe not. I'd be surprised if he was still up. Oh, here. Maybe these weren't ones.
Personal development. I've been reading the High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Rachel Hollis podcast.
Okay.
So a lot of that.
And that's good because I feel like the high performance is like leadership stuff, you know, like stepping up. I just finished reading The Go-Giver, and you guys, seriously, I don't think I can talk enough about that. It was like the quickest read. I think it took me 2 weeks, and I read like, if you're a fast reader, you probably could get it through even faster. But honestly, if I'm being completely honest, that was probably the first book I've completed in a really long time, because it was like quick and it was all stories. Like the whole time I was like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen today with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like kept me wanting to read it, where some books I feel like you're just like, you know. So if you're looking for a book that, and this book was so good, it just really reminded me about like serving in our business. And serving can look like, and adding value can look so different. Like as long as like you're adding you and you're giving you time, like yourself. And that can be like you sharing your journey. It can be you sharing like, this is what helped me get through the day today, or this is what helped me get me through my toddler meltdown today, or this is like what's going on in my life right now and it's a struggle, but here's how I'm dealing with it. Like that, all that kind of stuff, you guys, is adding value. And I know for me, like I didn't think about that as adding value. I always thought like I had to have like a resource or a recipe or like something physical to like give people for value. And it doesn't have to be that. Like value is you giving yourself. And we're like, we all can give like value in so many different ways because we all struggle with different things and we've all been through different things. So it's like thinking about your story and like what you're going through right now, whether it's like soon I'll be going through potty training, and I know like I can share that. I can share that. Thanks for that face, Jen. I can share what's been working for me or what isn't working for me. Like I can share that, and that's adding value to like other toddler moms who are like, oh my gosh, we're going to be doing potty training soon, you know? So it's like, where are you at in your life and how can you like share that value? Like it was awesome. Like everything applied to like this business and making this business kind of like what we were talking about before, not selling a product, but selling yourself and selling value. And like the more you serve and the more you give, the more you will receive if you're open to receiving, kind of thing. So it was like super good, super quick read. I did try and listen to it on like the Audible app as like that, and I just couldn't get into it. I had to like physically read it. So I don't know. You could try listening to it on Audible if you wanted to, but I just had to physically read it. What else are you guys listening to or reading?
I've been trying to get back into my faith, so I've been pulled about my devotional again, and I'm trying to focus on that each day.
On that. And I know me and Tiff, we had just like messaged in Instagram about even spending like 5 minutes just sitting in silence. Like that, I feel like can get you back into just like your faith. And not even, I know for me, like if I do that in the morning, and I think I've talked about this before, like even 5 minutes, like just sitting in silence, like that's when I get my inspired action, you guys. Like that's when I get posts that pop up. That's when I'm like, oh, I need to message this person, or, oh, I'm going to do this for my business today because that feels like good to me. Or like, oh, I'm going to add this to, you know, to our team page, or I'm going to do a video on this. Like that's when I get that inspired action. It's not when I'm scrolling on Instagram. It's not when I'm doing my work. It's when I'm like sitting in silence in the morning before like the hustle and the bustle of the day. And I'm just like, okay, like, what do I want to do today? What's my intention? What, like, who can I add value to, or who can I serve, or what can I like put out there in the world that can help somebody? And really, if it helps one person, like if one of your guys' posts help one person make one step in like the right directions to being healthier and happier, and you don't even know that yet, like that makes it like that right there. Like we don't know who we're impacting. Hopefully they'll like message you. That's the best. But we don't know who we're like impacting until they're like, you've impacted me. And I think like sometimes people just need us to show up and be consistent in our own life and share that journey for them to like give them the power to do the same thing in their life. That makes sense? And that's our job. That's it. Right there. That's all I have. I should end on that. That would have been a good ending. Like, one of those things. Okay, anything else? Otherwise, tomorrow I'll try and jump in right away in the morning for the info group and share my story.
I actually do have a question, and this is like for everybody. I'm like finally got my shit together, and I got sidetracked today because I watched 8 Children for my girlfriend today because she didn't have daycare. I don't miss those days. And I was going to post that I was getting back into coaching and this and that. And I was like, I call it the coming out. I'm a coach. And I can't find words. Like, how did you guys announce to social media that you guys were doing this? Like, what did you say in your post?
I don't even remember.
I bet you could go back in your post and do it.
I probably could. Honestly, I think I pretty much just jumped right into doing like a challenge group.
I think you did too.
It was probably a couple of weeks right after I started as a coach, and I just jumped into doing a challenge group. So I like promoted that right away pretty much.
Jen, I would say you could start something like saying something along the lines like, I'm back. Like, you guys, something about saying how like you did, like, not you did this coaching thing, but like you're back and you're ready to like commit to yourself, not just in your health and fitness, but in your business again. And how like life has been crazy, and you can share how life has been crazy, but you haven't like lost focus on like what you want your life to look like. And it could like it can be like a lead in into inviting them to the info group tomorrow, you know, and just sharing like what life has looked like, or why you've had to pull back, or like how you're fitting it into your life now that's going to make it different than before. Does that make sense? Because it's not like you're a brand new coach because people have like joined you, but it's like you're coming out again.
Yeah, apparently in town, I'm known as the workout girl.
Oh, there you go. So people like know that you're working out, right? So it's like now people just need to know that like you have a business doing it. And I don't know like if any of you guys struggle with this, and this is something that I realized like after I did a call with Shakti like a couple weeks ago, and she was like, girl, you don't own that you are an entrepreneur. Like, you don't own that you own a business. And I was like, you're so right. She's like, you've been hiding behind like, I'm a Beachbody coach, or I do that. Like, I'm just do this health and fitness thing. Like, I've been hiding behind that instead of being like, no, I own my own health and fitness business and I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I'm a CEO of my own business. Like, I've been like scared crapless to like say that. And so like you could even say something like that where like maybe you've had that mindset shift of like, this is a business, whether you do it part-time or do it full-time, or whether you make $50 a month or you make however much. Like, that mindset shift has to like shift before like you start treating it like a business and people start seeing you treat it like a business. And I think that's where it's like when you start committing to like showing up for yourself and showing up for your business, that's when people start to be like, holy crap, I guess she does have a business, right? So I don't know if you could put any of that into it, but I know that for me, I was like, oh, yeah, been hiding behind that for a while. He is totally still up. He has Nick wrapped around his finger. He totally does.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be scary when we have a girl.
Oh.
Very scary when we have a girl.
When we found out we were having a girl, my mom was like, yes, you get everything you did to me times 2. You deserve every bit of this.
Payback.
Oh, man, she's only a year old, and I'm getting...
That's funny. You could also, Jen, if you want, like post in Freedom Tribe or even in like on the PS group after you get it written up, and we can like look at it to like give
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes it's almost like you just have to write something up and then like have someone else look at it, and somebody else can be like, oh yeah, and then I would add this a little bit, or like whatever here. And like I don't know if I would, since I mean, you could do like a transformation.
And I'm almost done with Lift 4.
But I was going to say though, but since you're not promoting like a challenge group and you're promoting more coaching, like you could have it be more of like not a fitness transformation. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, more of like what my life was before and what my life is like now, transformation.
Yeah. And you could just share like in your post, like the mindset shifts that have been going on that got you like kept you here. Cause obviously you're here still for a reason, you know, like if you weren't meant to be here, you would have quit. I think all of it, you know? So it's like, you could share why are you still here in the coaching part of it and why you haven't quit, like share about that. Because I mean, you've gone through stuff where like, I think people can use it as excuse, like everything. People use everything as excuses. So it's like, you don't have to go into depth, but you could just be like, my life has been crazy, but I haven't given up on like where I want my life to go kind of thing.
Yeah. I like that.
I just had to put it in your own words. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys an assignment. Do a post tonight about coaching. You can go check out like the one I just posted tonight about coaching. I think, can you guys, if you're not admins, can you like tag the group in your post on Facebook? Have any of you guys tried to do that yet? If you like at and then write 20 or 200, 2019, whatever the year it is, wherever we are. Okay, maybe I'll give you guys as if you're
you can.
You can? Okay. Even if you're not an admin? Okay. So do a post. Instagram's obviously going to be different. Maybe you can put the link to the group in like your Instagram link and you can just say, click the link in my Instagram bio to join the group. Do some type of like call to action post about our group tomorrow. So you can look at mine. You can look at like, take 10 minutes and do some research on like coaches you like to follow and like see how they do coaching call to actions and like tweak it. Or you can share like even a little bit about like your story and like how it's impacted your life so far since becoming a coach. And then like, you can take like my call to action part in my post and basically like copy paste it into yours. If you want to do that. I know for me, that was always the hardest part would be like how to do a call to action. So you can do that for tonight. That way you can talk about it. And tomorrow you can be adding people. All this week you can be adding people. All this month. Keep adding people. It's always going to be open. Okay. Any other questions?
One of my friends posted about, she's another, I don't know if she's a coach or not, but about the team cup. What is that? Like what?
Oh,
that's coming up in February. So I haven't done a lot of research. I don't know if it's going to be, sometimes they have a team cup where it's like a team of 5. Sometimes I know they've done team cups where it's like a team of 2. So I'll have to look.
About a group of 4 needs a 5th one, so it's probably 5.
Must be a group of 5. So
I got an email about it, but I didn't look too much into it.
If you guys go into your back office, it should be under like the breaking news. But it's basically you like get together with a group and you all work towards Success Club and you earn prizes basically for hitting Success Club. And there's different like tiers. So like tier 1, they have this prize and everybody like has to hit Success Club 5. And like sometimes they have it where like if your team hits Success Club, if your team hits like everyone hits Success Club 5 in your team or something like that, you all get a hat or something. So it's kind of like that. They have different tiers like that. So it's in your back office though to do if you wanted to like look into the nitty gritty. Also, the last thing, have you guys all got on the wait list for the 2020 Success Club trip? Please go do that. You don't have to pay anything. Just get on the wait list. We have a long time. Well, not really because it'll be next year already, but I don't know when they'll like be selecting people, but at least if you get on the wait list, that way you can kind of have time. And basically, honestly, I think my first trip I earned, we went to Disneyland. And I think every month I just earned Success Club 5. literally. Every month I earned Success Club 5. Maybe I had Success Club 10 every single month. Not every single month, but like here and there. But I earned that trip with just that, and then I just had to pay the plane ticket down to get down there. Now though, they have like, sometimes they have months where like if you earn double, you can earn double and it will go to like travel cash, or like if you earn so many points, it will go to like travel cash, and I think you can use that for your plane ticket. But basically it's like once you get down there, everything's paid for because it's like all inclusive. So it's like our one trip every year that like we look forward to, because it's like Grayson goes to somewhere and it's just me and Nick in the tropicals with a drink in our hand on the beach, relaxing.
Every person who gets it get 2 tickets.
Yep, you get a guest pass.
You get a +1. Okay. Where do we sign up for this?
You can search, I believe it's Success Club Trip 2020 or successclubtrip.com/2020, I think, like that. And you can sign up. And there's a bunch of different rooms. Like it will show you what rooms, like you have to earn, like it goes through like all the details in there. So you can kind of figure out. But it's Success Club 5. Like that's 3 people doing that every single month. And it's totally worth it, even if you have to pay a little bit for it. Because it's like, once you get down there, everything's all inclusive. It's like, that's totally worth it. So do that. Plus we'll be having a little thing for our team. I want you all there. So it's not just me and Nick, because that's awkward. Okay, that's all I got. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the group tomorrow. If you add people, make sure that you're like welcoming them, and like if you see anybody being added, like welcome them, so it like kind of keeps that energy up. And then if you guys have any questions, you can let me know about sharing your story or anything like that. But that's all I got. Okay. Ooh, picture. You guys look bad at remembering.
Oh shit, totally forgot about that.
I know, I'm horrible at it too. I think I'm really bad at goodbyes. That's why I'm like really like, so I'm like, okay, bye. And then it's like, then I get off and I'm like, oh shoot, we forgot a picture. Okay, do we all want to, are we gonna all try and do one? Or do you want me to just post it somewhere?
I don't know.
We could all try and do one at the same time. That'd be funny. Allie, I know you're on your phone, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
I'm on my phone.
Oh shoot, mine's halfway on there. Okay. Oh, April, you're making a funny face. Okay, smile. Okay. I'll post that in the Freedom Tribe group too, so you guys can have that. Okay. Or maybe, yeah, I'll do that. Okay. That's all I got. Okay. Bye, lady. I'm awkward at goodbyes. It's weird. Okay. Okay, bye. I'm shutting it down.